Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for supporting my analysis. I have a question to the Kamba Nation. If Kalonzo Musyoka decides that he is not going to be part of Azimio la Umoja, will you vote for UDA? If he decides he is not part of Azimio la Umoja and he is also going independent, because the probability there is that he cannot win, where will you cast your vote? That is the question. I want us to get deep into a critical analysis here on the latest Kalonzo Musyoka political moves. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, after coming out in public to say that he is not going to be party to the interview panel that was constituted by the Azimio la Umoja council members, the reports are emerging that he has changed that stand and he is literally going to be part of that process. And the council, that panel, the 7-member team, is chaired by the former member of parliament, Noah Wekesa. So initially, the panel met and called for all the constituent parties within Azimio la Umoja to submit their names, the ones who wanted to be running mates to submit their names, and 20 names were submitted. Then yesterday evening, the panel shortlisted 7 candidates. The candidates that were shortlisted was Sabina Chege, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Gideon Moi, Hassan Joho, Stephen Tarus, and there was also another person there, I think, and Peter Kenneth. So those were 7 names. And something that triggered was very interesting is that the same day, that was on Thursday, KANU party leader Gideon Moi shared this letter in his Facebook page that the KANU party had endorsed Kalonzo Musyoka as the running mate. But I don't know to what extent that it emerged that later on, emerged that KANU had also submitted the name of Gideon Moi. Now, one of the grounds that the panel used to trim that list was that there were candidates that were submitted there. And if a candidate submits his name without the approval of the party, that candidate was being disqualified. So the baseline here is, number one, that Kalonzo Musyoka the Wiper party submitted the name of Kalonzo Musyoka to that panel, and he's shortlisted. And so if there is going to be the next step of the interviews, then Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be part of it. So this morning I was trying to just pick some information here and there, and what likely is going to happen. Then the report is that Kalonzo Musyoka has actually decided that if the panel will insist on the interview, he is going to be part of that interview. So the question is, what do you think is the Wiper plan? Or why do you think Kalonzo Musyoka has made that U-turn? It's a question that, if you ask me, I think it has found the panel off guard. My understanding with the move for Azimio to go the panel way, it was setting a trap. Because this is how the trap is coming. In March, when the Azimio la Umoja team were endorsing Raila Odinga, there was a meeting that was held in State House, and that meeting decided that the running mate was going to be Kalonzo Musyoka, and that's why Kalonzo Musyoka then joined. Then later on, on the verge of 9th April, when the coalition was taking the agreement to register of political parties, it emerged that the constituent parties, the DAPK and the Alfred Mutua and Charity Ngilu, engineered a revolt within the Azimio. And the clause was changed that there is not going to be a direct running mate, but the council members, Azimio council members, which is the second most powerful organ of Azimio la Umoja, was going to do that's where the running mate is going to come from. Actually, they were going to decide the running mate. Now, the first council, Azimio la Umoja council meeting that was chaired by President Uhuru Kenyatta in KCC, then later came out with this panel. So if you look at this, it has been beat a merry-go-round, and the decision, according to me, seems is going to be made. If Kalonzo Musyoka decides to walk out today, or even not to endorse Raila Odinga, then what probably is going to happen is this. There is going to be a perception that Raila has lost the election, because again, that is the most dangerous narrative that Kalonzo Musyoka and his hardliners, now Mike Mbuvi Sonko and Dan Maanzo Makweni MP, are now trying to propagate. And they are saying that without Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila cannot be a president. What this means is that if Raila is not going to pick Kalonzo, they're simply telling the Kamba voters not to vote in Raila Odinga. And that will be a very dangerous narrative in the face of Raila Odinga's presidential bid. Because my position has been that within the Azimio circles, the need for Raila to win the August 9th general elections comes primary. Any other thing is secondary. There is no way out of Azimio la Umoja. And if it is going to Kenya Kwanza, time is running out. I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also I normally say like our video. When you like our video, the rating goes up, and through that you're also promoting this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, now Kipepeo Africa has amazing deal for you. This is what you need to understand. When we mentioned about the need for you to become a supplier in a Dubai supermarket, direct retail, and selling at a higher currency, the deal is real. And now the information I'm receiving now is that they have limited special offers for the Dubai suppliers. They're giving limited number of free air tickets, visit visas, and free accommodation to suppliers who sign up, and to enable them attend the groundbreaking ceremony in Dubai. If you like to benefit from this offer, then you need to check out the landing page www.kipepeoafrica.com. Now what is available is they have a flexible model that can accommodate the SMEs with as little as 70,000 for a group of 10 and 130,000 for a group of 15, and 280,000 for a group of 2, or a single 500 supplier. You can become a supplier to a Dubai supermarket. Since you have reached out, it is very possible to become one. I want you to grab this opportunity and be part of this amazing. But it's a one-off, and let me tell you, I was just talking to them before I did this video, and they were telling me that such big brands from Kenya, I'll be revealing these brands as time goes by, such big brands from Kenya are now signing up and are part of this. And because I cannot make it clear here kwa sababu hawajalipa but then are you an SME? You need to visit www.kipepeoafrica.com and be part of this life-changing opportunity. Straight to our point. Kalonzo Musyoka is feeling the heat of isolation because the reason why he was making the Mombasa road tour all the way to Mombasa, where Mike Sonko was making grand entry in Mombasa County, he was feeling that Raila Odinga's campaigns were going on in central Kenya, and it seems that if you look at Raila's team, the team that was with Raila in Central, it was only Raphael Tuju, who is the executive director of Azimio, but there was no representative from Kalonzo Musyoka side. So he was feeling that isolation. And in fact, someone was telling me that with the kind of treatment he received during Mwai Kibaki's burial, the breakup between Kalonzo Musyoka and Uhuru Kenyatta, or rather the relationship is getting frosty day by day. Most likely Uhuru is not even picking his calls, and that is why he has opted that the only way for him to remain in the loop and have an understanding of what is going on, there is no way out apart from being in that interview panel process, because through that, maybe he goes through it. At the end of the day, the decision on Raila Odinga's running mate stops with Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, and the other players that will be invited in that table. So because of that isolation, and that has been so critical, now he's been talking in the rallies, he's been calling press conferences, but Raila Odinga team, even the communication secretariat, are not giving any official position statements in relation to that matter. And technically, it has been left out to the panel that was formed. Secondly, I feel that Kalonzo Musyoka latest talks of being Azimio Mall or being William Ruto's mall in Azimio is tainting his loyalty. And I want to mention this. When William Ruto came to defend Kalonzo Musyoka, saying that was being humiliated, to the political pundits in this country, it was perceived as one who is just trying to lure Kalonzo so that the running mate will be given to Kalonzo. Because in the event that that is given to Kalonzo, William Ruto, there is this narrative William Ruto is going to pick Mudavadi. I don't think it is there. It is neither here nor there. What would really happen is if Raila goes for Kalonzo, William Ruto will rush to the mountain and pick whoever he wants, and with that he's going to carry the day at the top of the mountain. But these talks is what have also dented Kalonzo Musyoka's chances of becoming a running mate to Raila Odinga, because he's been seen as someone who just wants to campaign and is not a trusted ally. I cannot underestimate that there could also be a probability that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga have decided that they're going to hand over the ticket to Kalonzo Musyoka. And this is most likely, it's also likely possible because there have been a question, and you see what Kalonzo Musyoka's handlers are arguing is also a point that, look here, when you want a running mate, we want tangible numbers as we struggle through the mountain. The president has an access to NIS and they know what exactly is going to happen in central Kenya and how the turnout might be. And there could also be likelihood that maybe Raila and Kalonzo are having a secret talks and Uhuru, and they're telling that yes, we want to give you this, but because we brought Martha Karua and all the rest of the team, and some people are also promised this position, we need to make it look like it was not a favorism, but it was a free and fair process. And that is why Kalonzo Musyoka finally has decided to go through that process. And I will be so keen, and I know that the panel interviews cannot be live streamed, but I will be so keen to find out how Kalonzo will carry out himself if he's attending that meeting, that interview, or walking out, and the kind of questions that is going to be asked. Because one thing I can tell you is that this thing is going to get out. Lastly, Kalonzo is getting that interview panel off guard. They didn't expect. So by the virtue of him accepting to go there, he just wants to see what are kind of the questions that they're asking, what are they going to look for. Then from there, he immediately walks out of that interview, comes out, is going to call a press conference and try to underscore the importance of that process. That's my analysis and that's my opinion on why exactly this is happening. Thank you.